Welcome everybody, Steve here. Okay, we're working on these fenders now. We're going to sand them down, get them ready for paint. It's a big day. So first thing, of course, we're going to give it a little shot of guide coat. Now on this front valance, I think I'm just going to use my palm sander and go straight to 320. I think that's going to be fine, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just block it a little bit just to make sure that it's nice and straight. But we'll sand the fenders, regular, procedure, 220, and then we'll guide coat it and hit it with the 320. So, little guide coat. I tell you, I see guys not using this stuff, and I don't know how you do it. My eyes are just not good enough to see, imperfections without a little help. As you can see, we got the tailgate. We just primed that, so we'll let that set for another day, and then I'll sand that one down. Sanding it down so that I get all my sanding done, and then all there's left to do, just paint. All right, let's get at it. Well, right off the bat, things look pretty good. It's got to catch edges. Now, one of the reasons I want to get this done today, as you can see, we got to do some caulking here. So you might take a couple coats, so I don't want to be just kind of waiting. Get after it right away. Now a little scuff cloth action here. And you know what? This piece is done. Didn't take long at all. Fender number 1. So we'll just hit her with some 220. When you're sanding, I know that everybody wants to just push really hard, but it gums up your paper and it doesn't cut as nice. Find it, you just take a nice light little swipe. Catch your edges nice. And you just get a little better job. Time for 320. Now the nice thing about going to 220 first is that it straightens everything out. I don't think your body work will be as good if you just went straight to 320. Plus it takes you way longer and yeah, more work. Remember that, we try and avoid that as much as we can. This, the 320 usually goes fairly quickly. I usually, like on my edges, I won't use the 220 on there, I'll finish it with the 320. I just find you get a little bit more control, so you don't have any mishaps. So this is the last part of the fender I got to do. And all these other spots, like, you know, in the wheel well, I'm going to hit that with the palm sander. And I'll speed it up, and you know, we're not too concerned if it's a little wobbly. Oh, it's pretty straight. I know that it's straight. But if I can get away with using the palm sander, pretty happy. Goes a little quicker. This fender looks really, really nice. Now, if it was up to me, I'd stop right here, pass this off to somebody else to paint. That would be my choice in life. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of painting because, you know, you spend 400 hours on a vehicle and it comes down to 8. So it puts a lot of stress on you. Now, I've only got a couple pinholes that I see. So I'm going to take care of them right now so that I don't forget them. I think I got one here and that's it. Oh, got a couple more there. So just take care of everything before I forget them, and then you're scrambling. I think that's it. That makes me happy. Alright, I'm going to do the seam here before I start tackling the other fender. Just because I want to get this done so I don't forget it. And what I found was just give her a little spray of just some paint thinner. I don't got very much left here. Now, I know just from experience that I'm going to have to put 2 coats on. That's okay. Just lightly. I'll wet the finger. Give her another light one here. Wonderful. Now the residual, we're not going to do anything with that until it sets up. I mean, I can just wipe it off, one more coat. That's going to shrink in. That's a pretty good gap in there. On to fender number 2. Don't judge me. I know my guide coat doesn't look very good, but my spray bottle was, spray can was just about empty and it would just come out on little psh, psh, psh. But it doesn't matter. Actually, it kind of looks kind of funky. Get it all. Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter. Always goes floppy. Sanding is done, and it looks really good. A couple pinholes here. Real minor ones, but easy to fix. So one of the things I want to do here before we paint, I just want to run a scuff cloth, on the inside. Probably not necessary, but I'm going to undercoat this, and it's just going to help with the adhesion a little bit. There's a little bit of overspray here. So, it doesn't take very long to do. And then we got some rust pits, some small rust pits in my welds. I'm going to take and I'm going to caulk those up. Some seam sealer. Make everything pretty. It's more preventative than anything else. You have a rust pit on this side. If it's been sandblasted, cleaned up, and then protected again, it's not going to rust. Unless it gets beat up. But I think these trucks have seen the last of the real tough days. Not going to see very much gravel. Not going to be hauling anything. time to paint the fenders. Just give it a little bit of a wax and grease here. Now I got everything all set up. Didn't think you needed to watch that. We just got everything sanded, so cleaning up today. I vacuumed the floor, and so it's a pretty big job, you know, kind of getting ready for paint. Be nice to have a nice big spray booth, but of course that doesn't happen in my world. Everything would be better if it was a spray booth. So much nicer. So we're going with the same procedure. I'm going to put a epoxy primer on for a sealer. And a couple coats of single stage. Time to start painting. Next day, of course, we're going to sand this. We got this. We got the 1200 out. Give it a light little sand, clean her up. We're ready for some paint. Okay, so when I came in, first thing I did was spray a little bit of bug killer in the lights, and I've got 3 big flies. Doesn't look like much, but man, I tell you what, that can ruin a paint job in a big hurry. And that's what you have to do when you're just in a garage like mine. Let's give her a bit of a wipe down with some wax and grease. Of course, I'll tap it off before I spray. But with the painting part, I'm not going to have you in the shop because just too much overspray. You can see there, it just pulls off that dust, you know, that real fine dust. Helps clean everything. Looks really good. We didn't have too much dust either. I had one little speck of dust up here when I was sanding with the 1200 grit. And that's the nice thing about sanding your sealer is any little thing that pops up, you can get it looked after. Beautiful. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Well, the fender looks really good. Now I know it doesn't do it any justice, you know, in the camera. I know it's hard to see, but you know, it's flattened out for me. Looks really, really nice. But now we gotta get some undercoat on the backside. So I'm gonna do a little bit of taping and hit it with some undercoat. Just gotta make sure to put a nut on there so nothing falls off. Get her back over here so got a little room. You know, when you're taping everything up to do some undercoat, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but thorough. So let me tell you, that stuff, that overspray is, you know, kind of floats around. But it comes off easy with just a real mild thinner, so if you do ever get any on your paint, you can always take it off. It's not that big of a deal. Doesn't take too long. I think if you watch my channel, man, I tell you what, this is my favorite part of the whole process is just doing the undercoat. You fire like 4 marine cells and that's all it takes. You got to be able to tape and pull the trigger. It's perfect. Perfect for a Saturday job. This undercoat just finishes everything else, just finishes it off so nice. Now they were sandblasting yesterday, and a little bit of sand in here. Alright, let me get that cleaned up. Be right back. Now I shoot at a little lower pressure, just so we don't have stuff flying everywhere. Well, I think we call these fenders done. So we're just gonna let them set for another couple days. It's the weekend, and then we're gonna throw them on the truck. A little brother, you know, there's quite a few adjustments, you know, on these Fords, you know, to put these fenders on. So they're gonna be a bit of a challenge, but we'll get it all figured out. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. Next on the list for this Ford is painting the tailgate.